It is really complicated because we have, as Charles said, we have 9 lists. Every voter here has 27 votes. Why 27? Because we have 27 members of the city council. So every voter here has 27 votes, and these 27 votes, he can give them to anybody on all these lists, but maximum 2 votes to one, or if he wants to make it easier and politically maybe clearer, he just makes a cross over one list, be it the Greens, Socialists, the Christian Socialists or the Liberals, and then that means that all the other ones, and that means then this list, every candidate gets one list. For example, our system, it's indeed quite characterized by the personal vote, because the parties, they set up lists with 27 candidates, and except for the first or the second, they come in alphabetical order. It's not the party who says this one will be the first, and the second, and the third, and the fourth. It's the people who decide who comes first, who comes second, who comes third, among the 27. So yes, it is quite a personal vote. And our system, because it is proportional, we have not, I don't know to what system you are used to. Oh, sorry. To what system, if you are majority, to what system you are used to, majority system or proportional. Our is indeed, but what you can do is indeed choose. For me, among those who are candidates, go now into the different meetings. There will be, this one is the first, and thank you indeed very much. This one is the first. There will be a lot. Go and take and make your mind up who you think can be better able to manage this whole equilibrium that we have in our society, with 70% of the population of the capital not being of the nationality, with the figures that I said, 40% of the... Yes, it is really a work of equilibrium, and you can be part of this choice.
I really want to create a new welcoming culture when the people come to the city. Yeah? We have, as I told before, a lot of turnover in the city, but it begins that everyone who comes to the city first goes to the Bierstadt Center, and there we have to begin with telling them, if you want to get involved in your neighborhood, you can do it like here, you can do it on this way. These are the sport facilities we have, etc., etc. So also when you're in the neighborhoods, creating a direct link to it and having a person who is contacting you and you can contact them in any language you want. Continuing with another participation culture and stopping also with, the city I think should work more together with, for example, international and European schools, because a lot of people, they are in their bubbles, but not in perhaps the bubble where the local, we are in the city council and more the Luxembourgish people. So I think the city really should create a completely different culture with this and go to these other people.
Excuse me, can I ask one simple question?
Sorry.
Because we are not getting the chance to ask many questions. It's more, the answers are a bit long.
Right, it's keeping people from the drinks, but
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to raise a couple of issues really. One is that actually as head of an international school in Luxembourg City, we work very closely with Mrs. Poifer and the whole Alderman organisation already. So that kind of communication is very positive and very constructive. I think one of the problems with housing is that it is no longer a difficult situation, it is a crisis. We have a situation where if I offer candidates from abroad to come and work in the school, if they're not UK citizens, they have to live in Germany or in France or in Belgium and commute, because they can't find anywhere to live in the city of Luxembourg or in the surrounding areas, and that is that's a fact of life. That's not a difficult situation, that's a crisis. The other issue that I did want to raise actually was the question of responsibility and obligation to vote once you're registered. And I think that we need to turn this around and to say this doesn't become a difficulty for people. The fact that you're absent on holiday or you're ill or you want to take a holiday when there's a voting day, you should see that as a duty and a positive civic responsibility. If you've worked and lived in countries where you have not got the vote, or where you're not in a democracy, or where your vote does not count, that's where people die and put themselves in great danger for the right to vote. So I think in terms of the discussion, in terms of the political discussion, the civic discussion that politicians and civic society need to carry out in Luxembourg, the measure of the right to have this vote across the whole country as nationals and international citizens of the Grand Duchy is a really positive thing that all of us need to be able to send out to our communities, whether they're Luxembourgers or international residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Lady over here, but that's the last question.
Okay. Well, thank you so. First of all, thank you for giving us the opportunity to vote this time round. It is one step ahead. About the fact that it's mandatory to vote, that was my hesitation. I don't think anything should be mandatory. It should be a duty, and people should be motivated to do it, but not obliged by law. It's good that the fine is not actually enforced, but many of us didn't know. So when I wanted to, I explored this opportunity of registering to vote. I thought, okay, I would need to know first who I could be voting for, then register in order to avoid paying the fine. So that was first. You need to maybe consider whether it makes sense to make it still mandatory. Then people will register more easily, and then probably more information about who we would be voting for before registering. That would also be helpful, because I didn't have any information about the parties I was supposed to vote for in my commune. The only piece of information was a flyer from the incumbents, CSV, with the achievements and the projects that they have completed. Part of it was in all languages, but the detail of it was only in Luxembourgish. The majority of the flyer was only in Luxembourgish. And yes, you can use all kinds of applications nowadays to translate, but it's not working very well with Luxembourgish. So what is it that how are you going to provide more information in languages that are accessible to everyone in your your manifestos, your programs, the debates on TV? Will they maybe be a bit more open to all of us and not only in Luxembourgish? We would really welcome that as another step in the change.
We begin in this campaign when I was presenting myself as being a mayor of the city. We begin this campaign with communication in 4 languages even to Greens from the city, and we will continue like this. And I see also that other parties now will also try to do this effort, but we will see. On the other thing, I want to tell you that, as Lady Polfa before told, if you can't go voting on the day of the election, you just can't excuse yourself. And even the people who are not Luxembourgish, they can also deregister, something the Luxembourgish can do. And perhaps we have in the next years more to explain it even better. Perhaps our system is more complicated than in other countries, but we really did a good move in the last years, but this has to continue. But tonight, and all the work that the journalists have to do, perhaps you even have to continue explaining more. But I also think that the city has to explain even better in more languages. And the city council should be translated in other languages, and so on. There's lots that we can do to have a better integration and participation.
We have all a part to play, into all parties in motivating our co-worker, friends, neighbors, a member of the community, Luxembourgish, non-Luxembourgish speaking, foreign or whatever community or language you guys are speaking. But all parties will have a communication in different languages. They all had some more in French, German, or in Luxembourgish German in past years, but I think those are practices from the past. But what is true is the word obligation and mandatory frightens people a little bit. And there is another question in that time. I think the one-to-one conversation that we all had during this pre-campaign, but that pre-campaign has to be understood like a pre-campaign not for our parties and our ideas, and I'm talking now about myself and our party. We haven't been campaigning for our ideas and our party. We have been campaigning for registrations, to mind the gap of the democratic participation and representativity that we show here in front of you. We cannot be elected only by 25 or 10% of the population. This doesn't diminish our power, but makes our legitimacy quite ridiculous and lawful. So we have 2 more months to convince you, but I'm quite happy, even if it's mandatory, to live in a country where above 84% of people are participating to elections. If you look in France, oh, it's a joke. The president has been elected by 9%, 10%, 11% of the country, which makes it a country that is impossible actually to govern. That's not the only reason, it's also because it's not enough a social policy, you're right, Serge. But it's quite complicated. That mandatory aspect helps us also to have a big participation. But it has to be better explained to the foreigner community.
All the different parts of the city, there will be special programs for the and Casper and Chateauneuf and Casper. So I think you will be, you will get more than you want. But you will be very much, you will get, and in 3 languages. And in 3 languages. I don't know if that exists somewhere else.
Well, Luxembourg is particular in many ways.
But I agree completely with what was said. I mean, it's really an honor to have the possibility to go voting. One should not see it as a duty, but it is really a fantastic opportunity.
Thank you. I'm looking quickly at the organization. How much more time do we have? Questions? 0 minutes?
Between 0 and 90.
0. I see some very well. One final question.
Very kind. Thank you for. I hope it's a lighter question. It's a question on mobility, but I think it ties into other topics you actually have discussed: safety, attractiveness of the city, getting people out of cars, culture. It's something that differs us from other capitals. It's the mobility at night. And please allow me just to speak out of feeling. I think the traffic, the public mobility slows after 10 and completely stops after 12 or 1 o'clock. I just wondered, it's not a blame, it's just a question. Are you looking at expanding mobility maybe once an hour, at least within the city? Maybe just to give an example that ties into the city, 2 weeks ago I was in Esch, in Rockhal, after an event. I hoped there would be at least a train after 3 o'clock. There was not a single train, or not at 4. The next one was at 6, I believe, or at 5. What about night mobility?
Well, in the city we have it. In the city we have the city night bus.
Yeah, but it's not really.
But it's not going indeed to North Ashton. We have only the competence over this very small territory that we. For the rest of the country, indeed, it's nationally organized. But you are not the first who says that this should be better. It should go longer in the evening. Yes, that's why we have the city night bus and the caller bus in the city. But it's only for indeed the city.
What about the tram?
Well, the tram it will be during the weekends, longer until 1 o'clock. Going with the last film also in Kinepolis.
I think it's worth an applause. I really have to round up here. I'm getting some very stern looks from the organisation. I want to.
One last one, come on.
Bring the food.
Last one. All right, then. You win.
It's a lighter one as well. My kids go to the international school in Ham, and I think we have been touching about traffic and security. I think there is quite a bit of a difference in terms of safety and security around that particular private school compared to some local schools where you have some agents helping to cross the road and so forth. And it's also very badly signaled. I know parents can do some efforts as well to improve the situation, but on the other hand, there is quite a big discrepancy between local and these more international private schools. Why is that, and will something be done about this?
As I'm not in charge, I cannot say why. but Lily will be able. But what is definitely sure is probably you participated to that meeting of the syndicate of Ham Quartier that happened you should. It was 3 months ago, and the committee of that syndicate, and I encourage everyone to participate to your local sections and area syndicates, because they do a tremendous work about feeding us politicians about issues. And that issues was very clear, but it comes into a big refurbishment project all around, and it involves circulation, it involves also new construction, and it involves a whole new plan in Ham. But I don't think, and I cannot believe that it is something done on purpose.
No, but there can be short-term enhancements that can be done as well, as putting agents and so forth.
Well, the situation, the traffic situation around St. George School is really very heavy. And you know, so probably you know also why. Because not everybody sticks to the rules. When the school is over in the morning, if you want to see a situation where you really think, oh wow, that is really dangerous, then you have to go there. But because many people don't stick to the rules, they just stop where they want to get the children in or to get the children out. We have enormous, and I had many discussions with the direction of the school. We have organized meeting points for the children, so that they can take a bus at a certain place, and then they are brought with the bus to the school, because it is impossible if the hundreds and hundreds of parents in the morning try to bring their children to the school. It's impossible. But it is a problem which is on our mind very, very often. And only together and with the discipline also of the parents can we improve the situation. But what Gabrielle just said, we are planning, and there will be the new stadium of athleticism will be over there, and there we will try, not only try, but we will take this situation, this an opportunity to do it better, certainly. But think of the discipline.
Thank you. Now I'm really going to close. Thank you everybody for being here. Thank you so much for being here. I think we had a very interesting debate. I am certain that next time the vote takes place, when we meet again in 6 years' time, there will be 60-70% for voting participation.
We know it.
There's going to be a final word of thank you from these gentlemen, but first maybe a round of applause for our fantastic panelists.
Thank you very much. So Paul kindly asked me to say a couple of concluding words, but I think, as Dawa said earlier, I think everybody's going to continue speaking. It's just going to keep you from a drink. And I think if there's something we can all agree tonight, I think we should really go out and have a drink. So thank you very much again to all of you for being here tonight. In the name of the American Chamber of Commerce, the British Chamber of Commerce, really enjoyed having you here. Thank you very much to the panel for all your interesting messages to the community. I think if we have a topic that's called "What is the role of foreigners in communal elections?" then it's obvious. It's not clear for everybody. It's not clear, but if so many people are here, then it's clear that there is an interest. There's an interest to participate, because we're a community. We live together. We work together. It would be great if you could take decisions together. And I think that's why you are there. You're supposed to work for us. We are representing businesses. I think we know how businesses operate. And in businesses, there's one concept that is very much known, that is resistance to change. So if you show people too many times, or told people too many times that things will change and they don't, then people start to resist this change, and then they don't believe in it anymore. And I think it's a great opportunity today to involve people and try to bring real change to the life we have. So we invite you to do that for the community. Paul?
Get up, go have a drink, and continue the conversation. This will not stop tonight. This is the start. And please, each of you, tell 3 other people that you know to please register and vote. Democracy only works. Democracy only works if we all participate. Enjoy your drink in the conversation.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.